Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is WireDogSec back with another video for you guys. Today's video, we are in TryHackMe. This is SOC Level 1 Learning Path. This is the Cyber Threat Intelligence module. This is the MISP room. Walkthrough on the use of MISP as a threat sharing platform. Now, with this room, be sure to scroll down to task number 3 here where it says using the system and go ahead and press that start machine button to get it ready to go because it takes a little bit to spin up. Now, once you have a valid URL here, do not just click on it because it does not go to the correct page. So if you click on it, you see that it keeps spinning, then eventually you'll get a 504 gateway error or something like that. What you need to do is highlight this, okay, like so, and then you right click it, and then you go to copy, and then just go over to a new tab. See, I already have it open there, and just paste it in there, and then there you go. It'll load up the page. So just be aware of that. Okay, this had me spinning my wheels for a little bit, and so I had to do that to get it working. I'm not sure if they plan on fixing this or adding more instructions to do that, but anyway, I'm letting y'all know so you don't waste time like I did. Now, let's go ahead and dive into it. Task 1, Room Overview, MISP, Malware Information Sharing Platform. This room explores the MISP malware and threat sharing platform through its core objective to foster sharing of structured threat information among security analysts, malware researchers, and IT professionals. Room Objectives. We will be covering the following areas within the room. Introduction to MISP and why it was developed, use cases MISP can be applied to, core features and terminologies, dashboard navigation, event creation and management, feeds and taxonomies. Room prerequisites, basically go ahead and check out pre-security and junior security analyst room. End of the room, we will have an exercise task to test your knowledge of using MISP. Okay, that's good to go. So we're done there. Task number 2, MISP introduction, features and terminologies. So let's see what they're talking about here. What is MISP? MISP, Malware Information Sharing Platform, is an open source threat information platform that facilitates the collection, storage, and distribution of threat intelligence and indicators of compromise, also known as IOCs, related to malware, cyber attacks, financial fraud, or any intelligence within a community of trusted members. Information sharing follows a distributed model with supported closed, semi-private, and open communities public. Additionally, the threat information can be distributed and consumed by network intrusion detection systems, NIDS, log analysis tools, and security information and event management systems, also known as the SIMs. MISP is effectively useful for the following use cases. So you have malware research engineering, security investigations, intelligence analysis, law enforcement risk analysis, fraud analysis. What does MISP support? MISP provides the following core functionality. So we got IOC database, automatic correlation, data sharing, import and export features, event graph, and API support. So not a lot of stuff in MISP here that can be utilized to improve your processes. The following terms are commonly used within MISP and are related to the functionalities described above and general usage of the platform. So you got events, attributes, objects, object references, sightings, tags, taxonomies, galaxies, indicators. All right, so be sure to pause the video and read through all this terminology here so you make sure you understand what's going on here. All right, read the task on MISP and applicable use cases and terminologies. Done. Task number 3 here. Now I already went over this. Be sure to copy this URL as is. Okay, don't just click on it because it's not going to work. Go ahead and copy this and then paste this into a new tab and it should load up the page. All right, I already have it loaded up in another tab. So we're going to go ahead and log into it here using these credentials they gave us. Okay, there we go. Now let's see what this bad boy can do. That's spinning up here. No, I don't want to save that. So let's go ahead and take a look. Dashboard. The endless view of MISP provides you with the functionalities to track, share, and correlate events and IOCs identified during your investigation. The dashboard's menu contains the following options, and we shall look into them further. So you got the home button, event actions, dashboard, galaxies, input filters, global actions, MISP, name, and envelope, log out. So it's going to look something like this of the dashboard. So if we flip back over here, we have the same thing here. So we got home, event actions has a bunch of stuff listed out here in the little sub menu. Dashboard, so we go back to the dashboard area here. or create a dashboard, apparently. Galaxies, list relationships, all kinds of nifty things inside of here. Input filters, import regex XP, signature loud list, warning list, notice list, stuff like that. News, profile, all kinds of interesting features in here, API. All right, so let's go back to the home page here. Now, obviously, you're going to need to spend some time looking around in here. All right, now I assume that this room is just going to cover the scratch the surface of this particular product, but I recommend going in and fiddling around with other things in here. So let's continue on. Event management. The Event Actions tab is where you, as an analyst, will create all malware investigation correlations by providing descriptions and attributes associated with the investigation, splitting the process into three significant phases. We have event creation, populating events with attributes and attachments, publishing. We shall follow the process to create an event based on an investigation of Emotet Epoch 4 infection with Cobalt Strike and Spambot from malwaretrafficanalysis.net, which is an awesome site. I recommend checking it out. Follow along with the examples provided below. Event creation. Okay, so in the beginning, events are a storage of general information about an incident or investigation. We add the description, time, and risk level deemed appropriate for the incident by clicking Add Event button. Additionally, we specify the distribution level we would like our event to have on the MISP network and community. According to MISP, the following distribution options are available. So your organization only, this community only, connected communities, and all communities. So be sure to read through this, understand which option is applicable to your particular area. Additionally, MISP provides a means to add a sharing group where an analyst can find a predefined list of organizations to share events. So once we get in there and start messing around with stuff, we're going to go through this process here and see they're adding events, doing all kinds of interesting things here. All right, so let's see here. Event details can also be populated by filling out predefined fields on a defined template, including adding attributes to the event. We can use the email details of the Cobalt Strike investigation to populate details of our event. We will be using the phishing email category for from the templates. Okay, so remember that phishing email category, and they're showing us here. Template looks like it can save a lot of time when you're entering a lot of data here. Attributes and attachments. Attributes can be added manually or imported through other formats such as OpenIOC and Threat Connect. To add them manually, click the Add Attribute and populate the form fields. Some essential options to note are for intrusion detection system and batch import. So these two options they're highlighting to pay attention to here. In our example below, we added an Emotet Epoch 4 C2 IP address associated with infections as our attributes obtained from the IRC text file. So let me go back up here real quick and click on this. Hopefully this goes to the right thing here. Okay, let's flip back to this and continue on. So we're already done with that. The analyst can also add file attachments to the event. These may include malware, report files from external analysis, or simply artifacts dropped by the malware. We have added the Cobalt Strike XE binary file to our event in our example. You also have to check malware checkbox to mark the file as malware. This will ensure that it is zipped and passworded to protect users from accidentally downloading and executing the file. So it's going to look something like that here. I think this sounds pretty straightforward, but we're going to get in there and start messing around here after we get done reading through all this stuff. Publish event. Once the analysts have created events, the organization admin will review and publish those events, add them to the pool of events. This will also serve the events to the distribution channel set during the creation of the events. So something like this here. Publish event. There we go. Yes. Okay. Seems pretty straightforward. Job queued. All right. Okay, there it is. Interesting. Okay. All right, question time. Be sure to pause the video and go through and try to answer the questions yourself once you review the information above and learn how to utilize this particular tool. All right, so go ahead and pause the video and then come back. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Be sure to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Once you subscribe, be sure to hit that notification bell. All right, so you know every time I post a new video. As you can see here, most people that view my videos, view my channel, are not subscribed. Now, if you do subscribe, it will help me get into the YouTube algorithm so that we can continue to grow our glorious community here. As always, thank you all for taking the time to watch. Have a nice day and enjoy the video. All right, let's take a look here. How many distribution options does MISP provide to share thread information? Well, we can see here under distribution that there's 4 in here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now, if you wanted to follow along with what they're doing there, you can just go in here and go to add events. So we'll just type in motet. Okay, leave that blank. Submit, and it should be able to add this event has been saved. Okay, there we have it. And the next one says, which user has the role to publish events? That's going to be the organization admin, as discussed up in the publish section here. Publish event says right there, organizational admin will review and publish those events and add them to the pool of events. All right, so we're done with that part. Task number 4 here, feeds and taxonomies. Feeds are resources that contain indicators that can be imported into MISP and provide attributed information about security events. These feeds provide analysts and organizations with continuously updated information on threats and adversaries in aid in their proactive defense against attacks. MISP feeds provide a way to exchange threat information, preview events along with associated attributes and objects, select and import events to your instance, correlate attributes identified between events and feeds. Feeds are enabled and managed by the site admin for the analyst to obtain information on events and indicators. All right, taxonomies. A taxonomy is a means of classifying information based on standard features or attributes on MISP. Taxonomies are used to categorize events, indicators, and threat actors based on tags that identify them. Okay, so there's an example here of what one looks like. Okay, that's not loading correctly, but let me make this bigger real quick. There we go. All right. It says analysts can use taxonomies to set events for further processing by external tools such as VirusTotal. So events are classified appropriately before the organizational admin publishes them. Enrich intrusion detection systems, export values with tags that fit specific deployments. Taxonomies are expressed in machine tags, which comprise 3 vital parts: namespace, predicate, and value. So these appear to be very useful whenever you start entering information inside of this tool here. Taxonomies are listed under the event tab action. The site can enable relevant taxonomies, okay? And it looks something like this here. So view taxonomies under events tab and get in there, and you can see all kinds of information here. See which ones are enabled, disabled, etc. Continue on here. Tagging. Information from feeds and taxonomies tags can be placed on events and attributes to identify them based on the indicators or threats identified correctly. Tagging allows for effective sharing of threat information between users, communities, and other organizations using MISP to identify various threats. In our Cobalt Strike event example, we can add tags by clicking on the buttons in the tag section and searching for the available options appropriate to the case. The buttons represent global tags and local tags respectively. It is also important to note that you can add unique tags to your MISP instance as an analyst or organization that would allow you to ingest and navigate through and share information quickly than an organization. So if you want to do that here, you just go to the entry and the view event, and then you can start adding the tags and other information inside of there. Seems pretty straightforward. Tagging best practices. The following tags can be considered a must-have to provide a well-defined event for distribution. So traffic light protocol, confidence, origin, and permissible actions protocol. Okay, pretty interesting here. All right, already read everything inside of this task here, so we continue on to task number 5. Scenario event. Circle computer incident response center, Luxembourg, published an event associated with puppy rat infection. Your organization is on alert for remote access trojans and malware in the wild, and you would have been tasked to investigate this event and correlate the details with your SIM. Use what you have learned from the room to identify the event and complete the task. So go ahead and try to answer these questions yourself once again, then come back to the video once you are done. Let's take a look here. What event ID has been assigned to the puppy rat event? So let's swing over to MISP here. We're going to go to the home page and it says entry value to search. So let's go ahead and search on puppy rat. You can also flip this down to all fields, tag, etc. Right? So if you want all fields, it should pull up the same information here. And we see the ID is 1145 for this. So let's go ahead and type that in there. Okay. The event is associated with the adversary gaining what into organizations. So let's go ahead and take a look here. If we take a look at the tags here, you can see it references remote access, and then there's remote access tool because it's a rat, right? Remote access again, that's the vector, misuse vector equals remote access. So that's what we need to plug in there for the next question here, remote access. Next one says, what IP address has been mapped as the puppy rat C2 server? Now, as we're looking through here, you'll need to scroll all the way down here to that particular area, which is going to have that information listed. So this one here, you can see over here on this side that it says puppy rat command and control server, right? So that's what we need. We need to plug in this particular IP. IP is the destination IP to be exact, right? Because it's communicating back to this malicious C2. So that's going to be our answer for that one. Next one says, from the intrusion set Galaxy, what attack group is known to use this form of attack? So if we scroll back up, we can find that information under the galaxies. All right, now if galaxies isn't here, just go up here where it says galaxy, click on that. See how it's a plus now? So click on that and then it'll drop it down. And as you're going through here, you can take a look at the specific groups they're talking about. You see intrusion set, and there's only one under here, which is going to be Magic Hound. If you hover over it, you can see information about this particular APT group, right? So we're going to plug that information in to that answer there. The next one says there's a taxonomy tag set with a certainty level of 50. Which one is it? So if we go back up here again where it says these tags, you can see that OSINT certainty equals 50. All right, and if you hover over this information here, it'll pull up additional information in this little mini pop-up here. That's for like anything in here. All right, so you're navigating and working your way through MISP. There's also related events over here if you want to find out other information in regards to what you just saw. There's a link to the Twitter information here, all kinds of good information inside of MISP. Okay, so you're going ahead and scroll down, you can see other stuff that you can take a look into for any particular item inside of here. There's the virus total link here, so if we take a look at that, it should pull up the virus total information as so. It's just last analysis date is 3 days ago, so someone's been in here and playing around with things. And y'all should know how to use virus total by now. All right, the community has some additional information there. Puppy rat. It's got a voting score in here. Additional information that people have posted here. Sometimes this is from automated sandboxes like High Rate Analysis, the well-known one out there. All right, so let's go back here. All right, now if you wanted to, you can go ahead and modify stuff in here as well. See how it's listed as TLP white. That's the traffic light protocol. Okay, you can add additional information here, MITRE ATT&CK stuff. If you wanted to take a look around, attributes, and of course on the left side here, you can view other information like event history, right? I guess that means whoever's been adding information inside of here. So let's take a look at it real quick if it loads. All right, looks like it's taking a while to load. But anyway, all right, there we go. So you can take a look at who's been adding stuff in there, system, right? Adding these different attributes, etc. So go back to view event, view correlation graph. This looks familiar, right? I believe VirusTotal has something that looks like this as well. You can play around and move it around, right? And then let's see, propose attribute, right? If you want to add something in here, you can propose it. And then of course the admin has to approve it. From what we read about earlier, propose attachment, you can upload like reports, antivirus detection, payload stuff, right? Add event, if you want to add a new event inside of here. And then that is pretty much it for MISP. You can look around in here if you want to. You can see other events that have been added previously inside of here, ESET stuff. Okay, you guys get the gist of this, all right? It's a intelligence sharing tool that you can utilize at your organization, and then you can add various different details to that event that you want to add in here. That way you can share it with security analysts, malware analysts, what have you. You can share it outside your organization only, to particular people inside your organization, all that good stuff. Okay, that pretty much wraps up this video. I'm going to go to task number 6 and close it out. Recap. Hopefully you learned a lot about MISP and its use in sharing malware and threat information in this room. This tool is useful in the real world regarding incident reporting. You should be able to use the knowledge gained to effectively document, report, and share incident information. Additional resources. There is a there's plenty of information and capabilities that we're not covering in this room. This leaves plenty of room for research and learning about MISP. To guide you towards that, look at the following attached links and feel free to come back to the room to practice. So go ahead and check these out if you're interested in learning more about MISP. Like I said earlier, a lot of times these rooms are just scratching the surface of whatever particular area that they are covering. Okay, and this is SOC level 1, so I think that this covered enough criteria for you to investigate further on your end. Do your own research, play around with these tools. That's how you get this knowledge increased and getting that hands-on experience with dealing with these tools. Because you may go to an environment that's using MISP, and then it would be great if you already knew at least the overview of MISP and then how to add particular items in there, et cetera, et cetera. Says we wish to give credit to Circle for providing guidelines that supported this room. Learn about MISP. We are done. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe with the notification bell. As always, thank you all for your continued support. Have a nice day, and I will see you later.